Hello, and welcome back to the Macro Gamer channel. My name is Mark Cassingham, and today we're going into week 41 of our portfolio. I've officially dubbed this now the Shield portfolio. I've always called it that, but I never officially called it that. That's just how I think about it, like a more defensive portfolio versus offensive and being very risky. So anyway, weekly numbers, week 41. Today is the May 3rd, 2025. Week 41. Let's go. So we got portfolio net worth at $519.95 as of today, May 3rd, 2025. Oops, I looked at myself. We have our portfolio weekly data for week 41. This is from April 28th to May 3rd. We have a net cash flow of negative 6 cents, so we had to rebalance, and you'll see that in a moment. Increased to gold, and then of course gold corrected. But we have a money weighted return of minus 1.30%, so we're down 1.30% for the week. We have a market loss of $9.19, and we have a dividend earned of $0. So that's our week 41, or our weekly data for week 41. Now we have our monthly data for week 41. This is from April 3rd, 2025 to May 3rd, 2025. We have a net cash flow of $30. So we had this $30 deposit right here. This was last week. So every third week, we deposit $30. Over this time period, we had a money-weighted rate of return of minus 1.80%. So we're down 1.80%. Like I said, gold really turned around, and I increased my allocation to it. So definitely took a hit. Market gain, 43 cents, and a dividend earned of 22 cents. So that's our portfolio monthly data for week 41. Then we have our portfolio quarterly data for week 41. Looks like I put my cursor right there. So this is from February 3rd, 2025 to May 3rd, 2025. We have a net cash flow of $120.85. That's 4 deposits. We have 1, 2, 3, 4. We have a money weighted rate of return of positive 1.17%. We have a market gain of $3.02. And we have a dividend earned of 99 cents. So our portfolio quarterly data. See all the volatility in it. Then we have our portfolio all-time data for week 41. This is from July 21st, 2024 to May 3rd, 2025. We have a net cash flow of $495.18. So that's our initial deposit of $100 plus all of these $30 deposits every 3 weeks. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So 13 times 30, got 390 plus the original 100 makes it 490. That's how we get our net cash flow. Some water. We have a money weighted rate of return of positive 9.46%. We have a market gain of $24.77. And we have a dividend earned of $2.27. So that's our all-time data for week 41 since the beginning. Man, I am feeling it this morning. So we have our weekly percentages. We got our target dates on the right. So I increased gold to 45. I just went balls to the wall with gold. I went far beyond what I wanted to do originally. So now, and then of course it corrected. So like now I ate that loss, but it was originally at 35%. And I was saying there's going to be an upper limit of 40%. Now I just went straight to 45 because everything was just doing so bad. And I was like, gold's like the only safe haven it feels like right now. Because everything's going to shit. Like these tariffs are destroying the market. But anyway, gold at 45%, our GLD ETF. Commodities at 15% with our USCI ETF. Bonds at 15% with our GOVI ETF. Stocks now at 10%. I reduced that by 5% with our RSP ETF. US dollar I reduced to 10% with our UUP ETF. And Bitcoin we have at 5% with our IBIT ETF. So gold down 2.48% for a market loss of $5.37. So this is a big hit. I definitely added these in at near the all-time highs, unfortunately. But like I said, everything is just volatile right now. We have commodities down 3.62% for a market loss of $2.91. So money's still coming down. Bonds down 0.56% for a market loss of 44 cents. Stocks up 1.98% for a market gain of $1.24. There's a lot of people buying back into stocks this week. It's really pumped up the S&P 500. The US dollar up 0.34% for a market gain of 21 cents. And Bitcoin up 1.57% for a market gain of 42 cents. This is our weekly percentages for week 41. We got our monthly percentages for week 41. Gold for the month is up 2.02% for a market gain of $3.46. So it's not all doom and gloom. Gold still had a good month relatively. Commodities down 9.59% for a market loss of $8.15 or $8.15. That's a bad one. That is a bad one. Bonds down 3.51% for a market loss of $3.04. Stocks down 2.50% for a market loss of $1.76. US dollar down 3.49% for a market loss of $2.53. Bitcoin up 11.35% for a market gain of $2.83. So commodities very bad for the month. Gold still holding strong. Quarterly data for week 41. We have gold up 13.18% for a market gain of $17.85. Commodities down 2.22% for a market loss of $1.83. And then bonds we don't have for a full 3 quarters yet, so we're just going to ignore this number. We'll look at it on the charts. RSP down 5.24% for a market loss of $3.55. US dollar down 7.32% for a market loss of $5.61. And Bitcoin down a meager 0.16% for a market loss of 4 pennies over the quarter. We have our all-time data. Gold up 34.18% for a market gain of $28.02. Commodities up 5.62% for a market gain of $2.62. Bonds down 2.30% for a market loss of $1.58. Stocks down 5.67% for a market loss of $2.40. US dollar down 9.76% for a market loss of $5.01. I actually should have ignored the bond one because that's not anything close to what it's at. And then Bitcoin up 57.90% for a market gain of $6.96. So that's our all-time data for week 41. Now we get to our position changes. So I added 2 more position changes in April. So April has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times I traded in 1 month. The most I traded before in any other month is 2. I traded 6 times. Dude, April was insane. We had April 2nd, Liberation Day, where Trump tariffed the world and the market fucking tanked. Then the next week was like April 9th. And then he was like, haha, just kidding, 90-day pause. And then the market fucking ripped. And then like later that week into the next week, people realized, I'm like, oh, it's only temporary. Then it came down again. And then there's all these, talks of new deals and countries and all this blah, blah, blah. So the market's trying to come back. I'm just like, dude, it's so fucked up this month. It's so fucked up this month. I hate this month. I hate April so bad. I'm glad it's over. Fuck April. But anyway, that's our position changes. So 2 new position changes. Reduced UUP, which is our US dollar, and reduced RSP, which is our stock ETF, and put them both into gold, which is then, of course, gold corrected. So I probably should just left those alone, but it is what it is. So here's that transaction on April 30th. I had the sells, so we had the pennies come out of these 2 ETFs, which is fine. It was mainly UUP for $26.36 and RSP for $26.18. Combine that, put it into gold for $52.30, and then a little bit into commodities for $1.31. So sold $53.67, bought $53.61. This is on April 30th. So this is the transaction. Then we have alluvium staking, week 41. So we added some more alluvium because it was the end of the month. So we're at 15 ILV right now, staked for a market value of $225.31. And we have a current ILV price of $15.02. We have our vesting dashboard. Our very first vest is going to unlock in 85 days. And each month after that, we have another one we vested. And then the most recent one right down here is April 29th, 2025, which unlocks in 361 days. So we added 2.66 ILV and staked it. So every month, just take $40 and buy IOV and then stake it for revenue distribution. So any of the gamers making transactions in the game, we're going to get a cut of that. Here's the revenue distribution. Currently, this week, we have no revenue distribution to claim. We have 0.024 IOV received so far from 3 different payments for a current market value of 36 cents. And here's that Illuvium transaction. This looks kind of ugly, I know, but it is what it is. So we bought from Coinbase on April 29th at 2:30. We bought $38, and then we staked $40.13 as part of the transaction fee, but it's 2.663 IOV. So it's April 29th. And that is the end of our slides for our weekly numbers. So now we go into the charts. Gold, as I said, giving back. So I added from 35% to 45%. And of course I did it when gold broke out of this chart, which is dumb. But like I said, everything was just looking so bad. You know, like it was just, I don't know what to do. So I was like, fucking ran to gold. But now it's starting to give back. But still, you know, I go back to October 23. This thing's just been up and to the right. Just up and to the right. So even if it gives back some, you know, my portfolio is going to hate that, because now I'm nearly half my fucking money into gold right now. Half my money's into gold. Right? So it's just like, fuck, putting it all in there. But right now there's a pullback. I don't know what's going to happen next week. I feel like the stock market's overbought from the previous week, because it was just up day after day. And I was like, no way, it's going back to the all-time high just like this, like it did back in the COVID pandemic, because back then there was stimulus spending. So government's like, we're printing money, you know, and that's why like they bought. But like they haven't made a crazy ass announcement like that yet. So we have inflation, we have tariffs, we have fucking high interest rates. It's like, there's no way this market's going to rip. Just, it can't. Like, who knows, but like it can't. Gold still has to be strong, in my opinion. Commodities also giving back. So it's bouncing. Like it's trying to bounce, right? But it's staying above this green line, or this trend, which goes back to July of 2022. You know, when you look at it on a 5-year chart, you know, going back to the beginning of the pandemic, do that a little bit better. There we go. So just up and to the right for like that 5-year period. It's been, commodities have been phenomenal. Right now, pulling back though. Pulling back right now though, because I got, you know, overhyped. It was like, into the tariff announcement, or into Liberation Day, not tariff announcement, because we were just like Liberation Day, right? And then tariff the world, bam. And then April 9th, 90-day pause, bam, shoots back up. And then now it's kind of like giving back a little bit. So it's just funny to watch the opinion of the market every time there's a fucking announcement. Just see how things trade. I was like, commodities are just volatile as shit right now. Bonds. Still waiting for bonds to have their moment. So on a 5-year, go back since the pandemic, it's been down and to the right, unfortunately. But it looks like we hit somewhere of a bottom around October 2023, and we've just been slowly creeping up. Right now, it's like we're staying low on that green trend line, though. And we had a bit of a sell-off right here. So I think the 10-year yield, what's it at right now? I think it's kind of down. Yeah, it's 4.30. I thought it was like 4.15. I thought not too long ago. Yeah, it was like right around here. So it's already bounced back up, unfortunately. Want it to keep coming down, but it's not. So bonds still at 15%, because at least it looks like it's holding this trend. And commodities at least at 15%, because it looks like it's holding this trend. It hasn't really like broken hella crazy, even though it's starting to give back. US dollar, of course, when I sell some, it goes up. Of course, when I sell some, it goes up. It was going down. I was like, all right, I gotta sell because this is getting out of control. And then boom, it goes up. So fuck my own currency. Fuck the US currency. But I think it was just oversold too much. And me, like a bunch of other dumb people, were like, I can't take it no more. I gotta sell. And then whoop, it turned around to this little U shape right here. Just whoop, start turning around. I don't know where it's gonna go from here. There's no way that I could keep going up. And there's possibly that's going to keep going. I think we need more clarity in the market. What these tariffs are going to be. Because even though reciprocal tariffs are on pause, you know, but the flat one, I think 10% is still active. Plus we had, you know, negative quarter GDP. So it's like the very first quarter, Trump's first 100 days was negative. I think it was like 0.3 or something like that. Negative 0.3. See if I got it. CPI, interest rate. No, I don't have it. But it came down either way. So, and of course, like all current administrations, they blame the previous administration. That's just how it goes with politicians. But it's come down, and then of course I sold 5%, and then it turned around. So fuck me, right? So I still don't know, because this is like, this trend is coming down, 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 right? It's just been coming down. So even if it turns around, I feel like this red line is going to be resistance, because you got this boom, point, and it cuts through pretty deep. So it'd have to hit that and then come back down. So we'll see what it does. And stocks, like I said, look at this fucking trend right here. Look at this crazy shit. This is fucking just crazy upward momentum. This can't hold. This can't hold. Look on the S&P, same thing, just crazy momentum. They're trying so hard to get back into this trend. They're trying so hard. Like, we gotta get back up to this trend. Where are they at? Let's see, they are at the closing candle. So still down 7% from the peak. And they're trying. They want it all back. I'll be so pissed if I sold that 5% in stocks and then it just rips all the way back up to the all-time high. I'll be so fucking pissed. Right? I'll be so pissed. Because fuck that. It shouldn't happen. It shouldn't happen, but whatever the fuck is going to happen. So anyway, my equal weight, you know, from way back here, because this is technically where the all-time high was, way back here, it's down 8.5%. So 8.5%. So at one point, you know, it was fucking like down like 20%, like way down here. If you go all the way down to the fucking depths, it was like almost 20%. Right? But the closing candle was like 17%. So look how hard, look at as hard as it drops, it's trying to like come back hard. Look at that shit. That reminds me so much of the beginning of the pandemic. Like I said, when they printed that fucking money, the fuck's that right here? This shit right here. Like it came down, like it's the beginning of the pandemic, so it's February 2020. Pandemic started, bam, shit crashed. And then like at some point the announcement was made, we're gonna print a fuck ton of money, and then just boom, just market ripped. Like I feel like an announcement like that has to happen for this to get back to the all-time high. Because if it does, I'm like, what's it going up on? Like it's nonsensical. There's tariffs now. There's still inflation. There's still high interest rates. We just had a negative quarter for the year. It's like, how are people still buying stocks? It's like the craziest fucking thing to me. Like, how are they still buying stocks? I don't fucking get it. And then even worse, I don't get Bitcoin. How the fuck is it coming up? How the fuck is Bitcoin coming up? Where's it at on this fucking decade-long trend? Look at that. On this decade-long trend. It's coming. It's trying. It's trying to reach that. It's trying to reach that. Trying to get to those, that line. It's like down like 6% from its closing high. Let's see from the line though. Like if it comes up to this line, it's like 8%, 9%. You know, so it's coming back. Bitcoin's fucking. What is up with Bitcoin? What's the news on Bitcoin? I'm surprised how well it's been doing relative to other asset classes. Honestly, I'm pretty surprised. But I can't see why it's coming up, especially when everything else is going down. The only thing going up is gold. I know people have that Bitcoin's digital gold. That's absolute bullshit. It's just Bitcoin's Bitcoin, gold is gold. That's what it is. If you don't like that, I don't care. That's just what it is. For whatever reason, the market chose gold and the market chose Bitcoin. There's many times when the market wasn't choosing Bitcoin and Bitcoin was crashing, like all this shit through here. It was crashing. Right? But now it's like turning around. So I don't know. But this is interesting. So, anyways, that's our weekly update. Got through a little quick this time. But we do it every week. So follow along now. The Shield portfolio, trying to protect yourself from the craziness of the market, even though I'm going through it all. Fucking dealing with this. Like, gold was the worst one, unfortunately. I put too much into gold. I'm gonna have to pull some out. I don't know. We'll see. But then as it pulls some out, like I said, it's gonna turn around and fucking go. So I'll figure something out. But I'll worry about that for next week. Anyway, as always, thank you for watching. If you have any questions, comments, or criticisms, let me know. Have a good day.